I'm Josh Martinez. We are in probably the most fanciest trailer I've ever seen in my life with my dudes. It is nice. With the Chainsmokers. What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
What's up? We're very good.
So last time y'all were in Cincinnati, you brought out Florida Georgia Line at the end of the show. Do you have any secrets or anything special in store for us tonight? Maybe you don't want to let out the secrets, but anything in store tonight for the Bunbury crowd?
Yeah, well, I guess we were here like about a year ago, but our show is like so much different now. And I surprisingly, like, I think we did like 35 cities around the U.S. on our last tour, and we had never been to Cincinnati, so we didn't know what to think. And I was just talking to Emily Warren, who we went to do a bunch of songs with, and she was like, "Oh, you're in Cincinnati? That was the best show on the tour last time."
Really?
Okay, personally, Montreal was my favorite, but that wasn't in the U.S.
Okay.
So, but Cincinnati was a close second, so I'm expecting big things.
I went to Montreal for my cousin's bachelor party over the summer. It was wild, so I know exactly. Montreal gets crazy.
It's a big bachelor party city.
It gets wild. Yeah, no, and most of us were from New York, so I mean the trip up there was easy. It was an easy trip. Yeah. So I was saying this earlier to Dave Watson. Shout out to Dave. That the sound over the from the last album to the last few singles you guys put out has been completely different. It's almost like you guys are evolving with what you want to do. Which I have all the respect in the world for that type of artistry, regardless of the success of it. The fact that you're doing what you want to do, what made you guys say, you know what, we're going to change the sound because we feel comfortable doing it? Was there any one moment that made you say, we're going to make that change?
I think our music's always been like a reflection of what we're inspired by, both like lyrically and sonically, and we change all the time, and our label's super cool about like we make something and put it out. So our last couple of songs is just kind of how we were feeling at the time, and it will continue to change.
So what would you say? So you guys have, I mean, do we have a full length album ready to come out? I mean, do we have any plans for that, or are we just kind of feeling things out? How are we looking for 2018 and beyond for the Chainsmokers?
Well, we have this interesting like release strategy now where we're putting out all these songs like one at a time, and kind of like on all the streaming platforms is being compiled into like one album. Okay. So it's kind of like a long stream of consciousness from us, and the album title will be Sick Boy.
Okay. Now, when that song came out, a lot of people were trying to decipher whether that's a political song. Is it just kind of, and same thing with Everybody Hate Me. Is it a political song, or is it just them talking from their personal experience? So let's set the record clear right now. I mean, was it political, or was it just what you guys are feeling at the moment?
I think like lyrically, I mean, all of our songs reflect like what we observe amongst like our generation, and I think, although Sick Boy is a lot darker than, let's say, like a Closer, it taps into the same like themes, which is like kind of like the way that we like our generation is romantic, the way we make friends, the way that we interact, the way that we relate to social media, how we value like self-identity and self-worth, and all those things are kind of tied into all of our songs. So I can definitely, obviously the newer songs have a much darker tone, but they come from the same place.
So what would you say has been the biggest inspiration so far in making the newer music? Because I know it was kind of an electronic thing the last couple of years, but now the music's been a little different. What would you say is your biggest inspiration? Has there been one artist? Has there been one album that you guys have been rocking with? And I'll turn this to you, and then you can answer next. But has there been one? Has there been kind of one artist or album over the last 12 to 18 months that has inspired you a little more than others?
It's a good question. I mean, there's so many great artists. I mean, obviously, we're huge fans of SZA and Tame Impala. I mean, we've always been big fans of Kanye West, who just obviously came out today. And, I think we like kind of just fluctuate going from like stuff we used to listen to as kids to stuff that's coming out now currently. And there's no one artist that like really, it's just like our friends and the stuff we're going through. I mean, we like couldn't stop playing Miguel Skywalker for like a while, but we're not making.
Miguel makes some damn good music, so I'm okay with that.
But we're not like making. There's no Skywalker in our future. You know what I mean? It's just It's just the vibe. So I guess that kind of does play a role because we listen to like a lot of Rage. And
although Miguel made a song with Kygo, so I mean anything. I'd say anything is possible. I mean anything happens in the studio. But on the topic of Kanye, let's say with that album that just dropped today. Have you guys been listening to that specifically today, or has it been kind of?
I've been trying to listen to it. I watched like a lot of the live stream stuff, but that's not really how you're supposed to listen to it.
Thank you.
But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm a huge Kanye fan. Like, I'm sure it sounds like there's some like really abstract stuff on it, but I heard a couple of songs during the live stream that sounded like they could be pretty big.
Just on this first song on the album alone, he talks about like wanting to kill himself, but he loves himself more than he loves you, so he'll murder you. Because if he's willing to kill himself and he loves, and I mean that, it's weird because you think of something like that and that type of thought process, and to a lot of people it's gonna be weird as hell, and like whatever, it's Kanye, so I guess it's okay.
But I mean, he's like, kind of like us in the sense of like, we're kind of like him in the sense that like, you know, whatever he's going through is what he talks about. You know, it doesn't matter what came before, it doesn't matter what is coming next. It's all very present. You know, and I feel like our stuff sounds nothing like Kanye's, and we definitely don't have the same fan base, but like we still, I think, you know, we were very inspired by him, and just like his honesty, for better or worse, you know, comes out through his music, and I respect that.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away with you guys over the last 12 to 18 months is that the evolution from the Roses into the something just like this, into the Sick Boy, the kind of evolution. And I think it takes a lot, and I'll be the first one to say it takes a lot of balls to do something like that on some serious shit. Like, and I'm not supposed to curse, but that's how serious I am. That like it takes balls to sit there and say, yeah, we've been successful with this. Now let's deviate from it. A lot of people will just try to, for lack of a better term, dick ride that whole process, because that's what's got them there. And I think it says a lot about you guys willing to take that chance and deviate from what you guys did that was successful. So for the rest of 2018 and beyond, what can we expect from the Chainsmokers? And each of you could answer that.
I mean, first, thank you. But I feel like, you know, you have to take those risks in order to find new areas that are of interest. You know what I mean? That's how you stay fresh and keep things interesting. But yeah, we have we have a couple songs that we're really excited about that are like much different than, you know, the songs we put out this year so far. And it's just because we've been feeling happier, or, you know what I mean, or more in a groove. So it's exciting. I mean, we're gonna keep putting a lot of music out. There are a lot of artists that we want to work with, and there are a couple that we are working with that we're really excited about. And you know, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Man of a few words. Yeah, that's the plan. We're just going to do some dope shit. Yeah. In the words of Kanye, who apparently has inspired this entire interview, I do dope shit. That's Kanye's quote. Yeah. Once again, Chainsmokers backstage at the Bunbury Music Festival. I'm Josh Martinez, Kiss 107.1. What up?